My name's Dave Potter. I work with the Safer Living Foundation out of HMP1. Basically, it's based on circles of support and accountability, where we assign a group of 4 volunteers to an ex-sex offender, and they start working with that offender either in the prison and then through the gate or in the community. Basically, they are a buffer between him and the outside world, and they will support him. They know about his risks, they know about his offending, and for up to 18 months, they meet once a week and basically support him and his reintegration back into society. Social justice to me is basically a premise where society takes on the responsibility for helping to rehabilitate ex-offenders back into the community. It isn't just left to professional organisations such as the police or probation. And I think this basically is where Circles of Support started with Reverend Nye. He said society as a whole has a kind of responsibility to help rehabilitate people into the community, because until that happens, it will be hard, if not impossible, for people to rehabilitate back into a community. So for me, it's about society as a whole taking that responsibility. Yes, Safe Living Foundation works with people that have committed a sexual offence. We work with high-risk sex offenders, and basically we assign volunteers to help them manage their risk, both in prison and then through the gate into the community. And these volunteers help them for a period of time, up to 18 months, and they help them rehabilitate themselves and reintegrate back into society. The 3 main issues in no particular order: certainly accommodation. Quite a lot of them are displaced from families or from the areas they grew up in, so it's finding somewhere to live in a new town or a new place. It is definitely people's perceptions, or the media's perception, of what they've done, the crime they've committed, and how people judge them and define them by something they may have done 20 years ago. Employment is difficult. People with especially sexual offences on their record tend to have a bigger stigma attached to them. We've known core members who have tried to volunteer for working in soup kitchens, for example, and been told, no, because you've committed a sexual offence, we won't take you. And the other offences are fine, but sexual offences seem to have this stigma attached, whereas people assume they are more risky than other people, for example, arsonists, burglars, that kind of thing. So I would say housing, jobs, and perception, public perception. The media seems to portray all sex offenders as predatory paedophiles who will steal and rape your children, and this is far from the case. I think public perception, led by the media, is responsible for a lot of the problems we face. I think if public perception looked at people that committed sexual offences the same as maybe they do with people that burgle or people that steal cars, it would be less stigmatising for ex-sex offenders when they come out of prison into the community. I understand it's a volatile issue and an emotive issue for a lot of people committing a sexual offence, but the perception of sex offenders is probably one of the biggest problems that we face. I kind of know what they think. They think paedophile. They assume that all sex offenders are paedophiles, whereas in fact probably 20% of crimes, if not less, are against children. The vast majority of crimes are against adults. But all you seem to hear of in the news is paedophile on your street, paedophile released, 200 paedophiles missing, and I don't know if the word is particularly attractive to Fleet Street or it has particularly powerful connotations, but the majority of the public seem to think that sexual offenders are paedophiles, when the vast majority are adult victims, and those victims are known to the people that commit the offences as well, so they are quite often in marital relationships or within a family unit. We have a website, saferlivingfoundation.org. All the information you need is on there as well. We are always actively recruiting for volunteers, because without volunteers there are no circles of support and accountability. So it's a worthwhile thing to do, and I highly recommend it. So.